Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Always Closing podcast. Today I got a special guest, Daniel Warren with the Warren Insurance Agency. So thank you for coming in today,
Thank you,
Daniel.
for inviting me.
And I appreciate you coming in. I know we planned this about a month ago now, right? So now we're finally getting it done. So thanks for your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us how you got into the industry, and if it's something that you always wanted to do, or something that you kind of just fell into.
Yeah. So with me, I do insurance, got into it during the beginning of COVID. I run the oldest martial arts school in Orange County. It's been around since the 60s. Got it from my dad, who eventually got it from his teachers. And so that's a passion of mine. I feel like there's a lot of great skills and strengths and life skills that come from martial arts that I've used in different aspects of the principles of martial arts that can come from training. And then I still run the school. And then when COVID hit, they told us would be closed for 2 weeks. So we did Zoom, and then 2 weeks turned into 2 months, and then 6 months, and
Right.
a little longer than a year. And then found out I was having a second child. My wife and I had a daughter, and then we found out we were having a son. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to provide for them? And so that was fun. I always was interested in insurance because my dad's dojo, martial arts school, just a few doors down, was an all-state insurance agency. And so had already thought for decades, I guess, about insurance. And then with COVID, had some time. I'm like, okay, let me get into insurance, try it out. Turned out I was really good at it. I enjoyed it, helping people. And then some of the things with martial arts is you're always like, okay, if this happens, then what? And then what's going to happen in the future, and then what?
Right.
How do we avoid those situations in the first place? Because the best way to get out of a pin or a situation is don't get in that situation or that pin in the first place.
Right.
To where you don't have to escape it. And that's kind of what we do with insurance as well. You have all these cases and scenarios. How do we avoid those in the first place? Now, if those things do happen, then what? And then what else is going to affect you and your family with your income, or if you have a business with your employees,
Right.
How much do you have to lose? If you have the minimum coverages, do you want your insurance to pay $5,000 and you pay $20,000 for totaling the car, or do you want to pay an extra $18 and your insurance company will pay that extra $25,000?
Right.
So those are some of the things that we educate our clients on and do with insurance. So the principles and guidance of martial arts kind of helped me with insurance, and I've shared that with a lot of my other agents. All my agents in my office are all licensed,
Right.
and so we're all here to help.
So that's kind of a curveball that I didn't expect, the martial arts side, and that's pretty cool because I'm gonna have a lot of questions regarding that because
love it.
martial arts was a big part of my life growing up
I
too.
know that.
So
That's cool.
I'm actually a black belt.
Okay.
So we can
Yeah.
talk about that too.
Good.
But
All the things that come from getting there.
yeah, so
What you become,
That's
not
kind of
just
awesome.
get.
That which school is it that you said that
It's called a Samurai Academy.
Okay, and what specific type of martial arts do you guys specialize in?
Yeah, so judo and karate, that's how the school started.
Okay.
So we'd always teach, don't box a boxer, don't wrestle a wrestler. If a person's good at standing, go to the ground. If a person's good on the ground, do standing, so having a balance.
Right.
But we also have different things, like some of the Filipino martial arts, also jiu-jitsu. But yeah, it's been a...
So you guys kind of have a well-rounded
Yeah, and we don't
variation
necessarily
of specific styles, right?
have it where it's just where we mix everything, but it is, we teach the art fully on itself. Yeah, we have a judo class that's judo. We have a karate class that's karate, even kung fu, but like some of those we'll teach students semi-privately or privately.
Yeah.
If they
That's
want
what
to
my
learn
black belt
different
in Kung Fu.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was something that I started when I was like 4 or 5 years old until probably I would say like 11 or 12.
Nice.
But definitely was a big part of my childhood. So it was a lot of, like you said, a lot of good life lessons in there. So
Kung Fu's hard work.
it was,
literally.
yeah, yeah, it was a fun time. So
Yeah, I was friends with Jimmy Woo, who brought over a thing called Sansu Kung Fu. He was friends with Ed Parker, who introduced Bruce Lee to the world in '64 in Long Beach.
Nice.
That was his tournament. One of his instructors had the first karate school in the United States, Robert Trias.
Yeah.
But he's had some really good friends, Judo Gene LaBelle, who choked out Steven Seagal and did some other fun stuff, but used to get choked out from Gene LaBelle and he'd give you a patch. You don't hear that. But
That's awesome. Yeah. So, where did you say the school was located?
It's in Fullerton, California.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. So that's where you have to go after. Is that what you're talking about? Teaching the
I
class?
have to get back to teach, but I wanted to make sure we had this, and it's good. We started early because you're like, hey, let's have fun. We can get started and have some space just in case.
Let's do it. So let's get into more of the insurance stuff. So what specific, like, do you have a specific type of insurance that you specialize in? I know you were speaking about auto. Do you also do home, or do you specific?
Yeah, no, I you can say I specialize a lot in property insurance. So we say we can insure any property in California. I'm also licensed in other states, but yeah, in California, homes, condos, if people are renting out a property and they have it as their owner occupied and they're actually renting it out, you should get a landlord protector policy because your company has potential to deny coverage because the risk isn't correct. But we do those as well, landlord protector, renter's insurance, even with people with a business. I can do commercial insurance. I specialize in that as well. Whether somebody just needs general liability or a business owner's policy or work comp, I do that also. So we're a kind of a full service agency.
Very cool. So, I mean, insurance is like a super hot topic right now, right? I mean,
my industry's in chaos.
That's what I was going to even ask you. You know, a lot of people are saying it's even kind of like a crisis, especially in California.
Yes,
would you say it is? And how has all these fires and everything really affected the industry in the last year?
Yeah, so a lot of the companies that you're seeing that are either leaving California or they're not writing currently, or they're just trying to non-renew people. This year was supposed to be a really good year, and then right at the beginning we had all those fires. There's a catastrophe for a lot of the families. Sorry for them. Some of them did have insurance. A lot were underinsured, so they're not getting what they need to fully rebuild and be made whole, which is what insurance is supposed to do. But it's good to reevaluate what you have for insurance. But a lot of those companies for the past couple years have already been trying to mitigate some of that risk. So some of those areas, like high fire areas, companies were starting to leave already. And so a lot of people were moving over to the California FAIR Plan. But even with the FAIR Plan has grown quite a bit, but they even have limits on their coverage because it's just fire, windstorm, hailstorm, and vandalism mostly. They don't cover water damage or personal liability, where we can get a wraparound policy, difference conditions policy, or just a liability only policy. So we can educate our clients and see what's the best fit for them, what they want. How much of a risk they want to take, and just their options to where they can have peace of mind and be made whole, where if something does happen, they're going to be made whole, because everybody wants cheap insurance until they have a claim. But yeah, a lot of those
especially like where these fires were, right? I mean, they're tremendously expensive homes.
Multi-million-dollar homes.
So how do you rebuild that if you're underinsured? It's just, you know, unless you have the money in the bank, which is still a huge loss, even if you had it, you know?
Yeah, some people will self-insure a little bit. They'll take on some of that extra risk, and some are like, hey, I've been here for 30 years, haven't had anything, and now everything gets wiped out, and that's a horrible situation to be in. So it can make me feel good to have something where clients like, I know if something goes totally wrong, we're protected. We have been able to transfer some of that risk over to a company for a small amount of premium or whatever. We have different options for clients, so I try to help give them options and give professional advice on what they can do. But yeah, a lot of those companies were getting into either non-renewing places or having it where they're not going to take on the fire risk anymore, so they would need to get a FAIR Plan for that. And then some companies have done where they needed like a defensible space certificate that they can work on getting, where they're like, hey, we've done these things, we don't have any debris by us or plants or trees within like a 5-year or 5 foot space, some maybe 10, whatever the companies were having, where they're showing, hey, we've done these things to help mitigate where we do have a lower risk. Because they've seen if you have that 5 foot of defensible space, a lot of times those are the homes that stay while others can get a total loss, which is a horrible experience for people.
Right. So where's the state of like the California, like, insurance market going? Like, where do you see it kind of like, is there laws going into place that's going to help the situation? Are people just going to have to really, because I feel like, especially like in our industry with the real estate, right? Like, insurance was never like something that you're really like taking into consideration
Yeah.
when you're buying a home, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, it's just like pay you a couple $100 a month and we're good to go. And now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I really got to consider it now part of the payment
Yeah.
because of how much everything has gone up. Do you see it where it's going to get a little bit better, or you think this is kind of just the state of the market right now?
Yeah, good question. So even last year, I believe most people got between like a 30 to 40% rate increase average. And that was even a 34% the year before. So some people were getting like 60 to an 80% increase for that past 2 years, which is kind of wild because
Yeah.
most people are like, hey, I used to get calls and we'd help people and they'd complain. And I understand where they're like, hey, my insurance went up $15. But now some people are like, hey, my insurance has gone up $3,000.
Yeah.
All right, I just shopped and other companies are giving me one that's $10,000 more. So I'm going to stick with this. So you'll hear a lot of people say, hey, pay your premium, don't let it lapse, because things do happen. I deal with claims every single week, sometimes daily. But yeah, it's a wild experience, and especially when you do have a claim, because now it's so much more real. It's like, this happened to me, and it does, and we see that constantly. And companies for several years in California were losing lots and lots of money. For every, let's say, $100 they made, they lost like $120, depending on which line they were selling, and some were more, some were less. But yeah, companies were losing billions with a B. Yearly, sometimes monthly. It was pretty wild, especially with the LA fires and around California. Those are billions on top of what they were already doing.
Right. So how would you say is a good way for someone to prepare when it comes to insurance for a natural disaster? You know, of course, you're not expecting it to happen and you hope it never happens, but how should you prepare, and what plans should you look to put in place to prepare for something like that may happen?
Yeah, of course. I like the question. And of course, one of the main things we always say is don't let it happen in the first place. So if I have this debris, have meaning to get rid of it for a while, it's time to get rid of it. I have, even when you first get a new policy with a home insurance, for example, a company's going to send out a third-party inspector. If you have even a small branch growing up against your roof, that's a fire hazard, they're going to send you a notice that they want that trimmed back. Otherwise, they're going to cancel within 30 days usually. So maintaining is a huge thing in trying to mitigate those risks, so you're in a good position in the first place, so it doesn't happen. But you could even reevaluate your insurance. When's the last time you've looked at your insurance? Some people, and I've helped even some of my students at my martial arts school, who they were like, hey, I bought our home, and we're just going with we've only gone with the insurance that our bank gave us.
Right.
And so they're paying a lot more, usually, for less coverage.
And that's that was going to be one of my follow-up questions, is like, so when the banks are approving the whole thing, like, how much insurance are they usually requiring you to have? Like, is it enough to make you whole, like the way you said, or are they just kind of requiring the bare minimum?
Yeah, a lot of them require the bare minimum. Some of the companies will do like 20% loan value, 20% of the appraised value.
Oh.
So it's good to reevaluate, hey, is my home, the cost to rebuild here, the same as somewhere else? But yeah, we look at that now. There's the property value of a home. A person, as we know, a lot of times in Southern California and other parts within California, $1 million home that's being sold for $1 million. A few years back, that's not $1 million home.
Right.
You're like, I wouldn't have ever expected that home to go for $1 million.
Yeah, it might have been half, like 6-7 years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the cost to rebuild that structure, the actual building, isn't going to cost $1 million. So you don't need to insure it for that $1 million. It's what is it actually going to cost to rebuild? What's the debris removal? And there's things that we look at for that to evaluate, make sure that the client is protected. And there's ways to have a little extra buffer. There's things called extended replacement costs, which means if there was a total loss on the property, you could have like an additional 10% or 25% on top of that. So if you had if you had a home, smaller home, and it was insured replacement cost at $400,000, extend replacement, if you had 25%, that's an extra $100,000 on top of that in case of a total loss. So there's things you can do for some extra peace of mind, or insure it for a little bit extra, just so you have those. And there's other endorsements you can have and things. And then what exactly is going to be the issue, because it's not just fire that can come and damage a house. What if a pipe bursts?
Yeah.
What if you have a friend that's visiting, or you have a teenager that has a party? What if somebody gets hurt?
Yeah.
We've seen on video floors caving down, or people are partying on the balcony and the balcony falls.
People get hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, people get hurt. Everybody's your friend until there's $100,000 of bodily injury.
Right.
Now, what do? Do you have enough coverage? I get calls where the person, the claims rep, will ask, does this person have an umbrella? Umbrellas are nice to have if you can qualify for it, because that's an extra $1 million on up of liability coverage, just in case your minimum limits exhaust.
So with all these different, it seems like there's so many different things you can have when it comes to insurance, right? How is it that you can ensure that you're properly covered without overspending unnecessarily?
Yeah, that's a fun balance. So yeah, it's good. So there's some simple sayings. I love quotes. I love simple sayings and things we can get into, but it's better to be a little overinsured than underinsured. So it's good to err on the way of being overly covered, but you don't want to be crazy overly covered where you're like, hey, this is never going to happen. But where's that point where you're like, I feel comfortable, and we have a little bit extra. Here's why. Because we can usually share that. What's the replacement cost estimator? And then can we insure a little bit above that? Because some companies allow you to insure above that.
Right.
So yeah, we check that out and we can share. And then some of the areas in California, some cost more to build in the area, and some are less because the property value. Because when we're insuring the actual dwelling, well, you're not necessarily going to rebuild your dirt and your grass necessarily,
Right.
but what goes into your property value is also what's your school district like, how close is it to work, what's your view, what's the weather like in this area. But yeah, we look at it, and then one spot in one city, a lot of times in Orange County, average is about $350 to $400 a square foot to rebuild. Some areas, if you go down further south, like let's say Rancho Santa Fe, where some of those homes are like huge compounds.
Right.
Some of those are like $770 a square foot or $1,000 a square foot. Do you have tile, or do you have marble, or do you have like an imported wood that's extinct?
Right.
I have one of those clients over in Huntington Beach that wood doesn't even exist anymore. So there's a few factors that go into it, but yeah, there's averages, and then what actually do people have, and then you could look at personal property. How much are they being insured for? Do they even have that much stuff? What about, and it's not just rebuilding the house. Your home burns, or I had a friend over in Lake Arrowhead, over near Big Bear area, when they had that snowmageddon. They had like 5 to 7 feet of snow.
Yeah, I have a friend that has a place up there too. And he's the one I was actually talking about earlier, about that has the graphic shop. And,
Yeah.
and he has like he bought, I think it's a duplex or something, maybe a triplex, and the whole, like half of the roof caved in from the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend that had that. Yeah, that exact
Same
thing.
situation. Yeah.
And then, interesting thing, at first it wasn't covered because just the weight of it wasn't covered. Now, I made a phone call because I service all of my clients, and as the snow melted, now it's water, now it's getting in, now it's water, and that was covered. So how do we get people covered? That's why it's good to have an agent. There's some companies that don't, and if you have that 800 number, who you're talking to, can you get advice from them? Because if you call your claims department, even just to inquire, if you potentially have something, you have a claim for 5 years on the property and on the insured. So it's good to have an agent where you can go into hypotheticals and see what you actually have, what's there, and things that can definitely help you save not just thousands, but tens of thousands. That claim that I helped my friend with, I believe they ended up getting $187,000.
Wow.
Because your rental, that goes into it as well.
Too,
like
right?
how much does it cost to rent a place? Because that's wild in itself.
Right. Yeah. What I liked earlier that you were speaking about at the meeting was you had said that you were looking at somebody's coverage, right?
Yeah.
And that
On
they
their
were
auto.
they were underinsured, and the difference, like for them to have the amount of insurance that they needed was like $3 difference a month,
A
right?
month, yeah, for $25,000.
How often do you run into that situation, and how can that be avoided? Like just maybe just contacting you every year or so and saying, "Hey, can you look at my
Yeah,
situation? Can we adjust this some way?"
Yeah, there'll be times we will review with clients, just annual review or semi-annual review. They're always welcome to call my office or text my office because we can help them and review. Some people are like, hey, I just want a little bit lower coverage just so I can afford it. And then scenarios change and they're like, hey, I actually want to be a little more covered, and we can look at those things because some things can cost a few $100s more a year. Some things are in the $10 or $20
Right.
more, which makes sense. So it's good to look at those things. And I don't like the minimum coverages. I like to have a little extra because having that, if something ever actually does happen, it's better to have a bad day than a bad life.
Right.
Because you're
Absolutely.
like, oh, I just had this accident. I have to pay my $500 or $1,000 whatever deductible, but at least my insurance is paying for the rest of it, and I don't have to get an attorney, and I don't have to worry about going back and forth with this other insurance company because they're trying to subrogate, which means go after my insurance. And with the companies I write, they protect the client.
Yeah. So before we switch off to the next subject, I wanted to ask you one more thing regarding the insurances. What's your opinion on home warranties in conjunction with your home insurance? Is it good to have a balance of the two? Do you think that the warranty is not really necessary? What's your opinion on that, coming from an insurance person?
Good question. I can do home warranties. I don't do them currently. I have had a somewhat bad experience with that where, hey, I was paying for this and you have the company come to fix one thing, but my old home, when I lived in Corona, it didn't have an air gap. So like, oh, it doesn't have an air gap, so this other thing isn't covered. I was like, well, no, okay. But there's different warranty companies that can do stuff. Now that's with most things. If it's happened already or something doesn't have something, I can understand that. There's some companies that can have endorsements. Does it actually be covered? I don't know, because all those things are subject to investigation and all the exclusions that those home warranty companies have.
Right.
But if I were to say, it can give extra peace of mind because there's things that home insurance doesn't cover, because I usually only recommend making a claim if it's something catastrophic. Some people have the mindset where, hey, I'm paying for insurance,
I want to use it.
I might as well use it. I've had a person want to make a claim because her son threw a ball and broke the TV. I was like,
You know how much TVs cost now?
Yeah.
You know, an 80-inch for like $600.
yeah, it's so wild. I remember back in the 90s, I bought a 36-inch flat screen TV, and those weighed like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And it was like $1,400.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's wild. So I talked to her to withdraw the claim. They did, helped her her record for the number of years and saved her money. But home warranty, peace of mind on a brand new home, it's not a bad thing because lots of things do go wrong, especially that first year. Your wash machine going out or the HVAC system or other things. But definitely look at what are the exclusions. Does this home warranty company have, if there's like stuff that isn't fully there, I don't know, I'm just barely taking ownership of the property. Sometimes those are nice because some companies you can pay a little bit extra. And if there's pre-existing conditions, sometimes they'll still cover that, and that's kind of nice.
Right.
But yeah, it's nice for peace of mind, but I've had myself and clients were like, yeah, I didn't have good experiences with it, but that can be said even with insurance. And there are exclusions with insurance. Some people are like, hey, I want to be fully covered. There's not really a button on insurance where you say, okay, let's get full coverage.
Right.
Most people think of full coverage, they usually mean on the auto, they want comprehensive and collision coverage so that they can help fix their car. on a home insurance, again, there's no such thing as full coverage because, yeah, you have fire, water damage, windstorm, but it's water damage, but that's like a pipe burst. What if it's raining and there's a flood? You need flood insurance. If there's an earthquake, you need earthquake insurance. Now, do you have mold coverage if there's mold?
Yeah.
Most people don't. If your main service line has an issue, do you have coverage for that? That's an endorsement. So there's lots of things. Just like how they say, they can sell cars that'll run your entire life, but you're not going to be able to afford it.
Right.
Now, like you're saying, what's not going to break the bank, but make sure you have peace of mind and you're covered well. We can definitely do that.
So switching up topics a little bit, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, because I've met you now, I think, at 3 different like networking events, right? Because I think I first met you at the one in Anaheim, was at the library.
Yeah.
That's the first time I met you there. Then at a Brea Caravan, and then now at the BNI events. So obviously you must value networking, getting out to events, meeting people. Mm-hmm. How has that impacted your business, and how important is it to you?
I think it's a good thing. Just like with all things, again, the principles of martial arts, you can do certain things, but then how do we make it better? I like the concept of Kaizen, so constant perfection or constant progression. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing this, even networking. Now, how do I make networking better? What can I do? It's not just showing up's part of it, but even within self-defense, sometimes we'll train. And I was also, right before COVID, and was doing well. I was also a manager, prescription drugstore, right by Disneyland, so near there. And we'll train people. Nobody's coming to help you. You got to make sure you help yourself, because I remember I took a blade away from a person.
Oh, wow.
When I was working over there in Anaheim off Lincoln and State College.
Yeah.
As a overnight manager, switched into there. But I remember taking a weapon away from a person. He was starting to kill everybody. And we were on the phone, and the police, we had to call them again a few hours later, and then I don't believe they actually finally came until like 4 or 5 hours after that.
Really?
So,
even with that type of situation?
Yeah,
Wow.
that type of situation. Sometimes there's different hours where they're changing shifts or whatever, so it takes a little bit longer. But other scenarios, police have come really quick. I've thrown a gangster, I've strangled one before, and other stuff, and I've also given great customer service to lots of them. So whoever it is, we take care of people, even in the insurance world. But there's lots that you can take about it and get through with those things to help, even with networking. How do I make this better, because it's on you. It's not just the other person's asking networking. You can send people out, but when I go out to the BNI or to a realtor caravan or to another realtor caravan, do I go there and do I just stand there and hope people come to me, or do I go out to people? Do I make it happen? Do I actually exchange cards? Now you got the card, what do you do with it? Did you email the person?
Yeah.
Did you text them? Because you can have the greatest conversation, have a connection, but what about the follow-up?
That was my follow-up question to you is, okay, so let's say someone's like, I'm going to start going to more events, going to go talk to more people. Do you have like a strategy going into these things? Like you said, like, okay, I'm going to go talk to people. I'm going to get some cards. When I get back to the office after that day, I'm going to email them right away. They go into my CRM system and start following up with them. Or is it not so tactical that way, where it's kind of like, I'm just going to go meet people, build some relationships, and as time comes, maybe hopefully we could do business together?
Yeah, that's all part of it, and I like even what you shared, because I'm very much about growth, and I'll listen to people even if I don't fully agree with things. So I can always be like, hey, what else can I gain from this person, or in this scenario? So yeah, when I go back, it's not as tactical, and some of it comes from experience, and it's good to know, hey, I don't know all these things, but I know enough to take action. Right. And then you reevaluate. Stephen Covey talks about sharpen the saw. So how can I reevaluate, make it better? My pitch, how is that? It's pretty good. What else can I do? I have this person's business card. How can I reach out to that person and make something happen with it? My business cards, how do those look? Right. If I look at it, do I feel inspired? Am I allowing this person to feel a connection? Do they feel better talking with me? Now, when I talk with realtors, a lot of them already have an insurance agent or an agents that they work with.
Yeah.
I'd like to be your second option.
Yeah.
I'd like to be the other option to give goodwill for your clients, because you're going to give them that. What if you give them a few options? That way it doesn't fall on you if they have a bad experience with that person. I want all of my clients,
And
or
especially
people
with
that
insurance,
interact.
right?
Yeah.
Because you could shop different rates. So it's
Yeah,
not
I expect
necessarily
them to
that you
shop.
just like doing that,
Yeah.
working with that person, but also what rates can they offer as opposed to what you can offer. So that definitely makes sense. I mean, because with us, it's the same with us. I mean, so our clients are also realtors the way your clients would be, right? Or people that can refer you a lot of business. And 95% of the time they're like, oh, we already have our escrow company that we work with.
Yeah.
Right. Or they have like an in-house escrow that they work with. But it's always like nice to say, you know what, and it's fine, I don't need all your business, but just consider me as a second option. Or if something goes wrong one day, just know that we're here for you or whatever, So I think it's just good that, you're constantly meeting new people and just putting your name out there.
And it's good, even with the chaos of my industry, the crisis of insurance, I've gotten so much busier just because, certain carriers are saying no. Well, what other carriers are going to say yes? I can go out and look.
Right.
And I've been able to, like I said, we can insure any property in California. And we're big on that and finding solutions. Because, hey, these companies are saying no. How do we find a solution? What options can we get? And I was still writing when they had the LA fires. Had a client over by the Hollywood Bowl. He's like, oh, there's a fire right in front of me. How can I get insurance? We got him insurance.
Wow.
That happened. So that was some work.
Yeah.
And he was stressed, but we got it. And I like helping people and have them have that experience. Like, Daniel's going to take care of people. I'm very much on getting back to people. I want to be that little bit better on response or allowing people, what are the pain points that people have? Because if somebody doesn't get back to somebody after a matter of days or whatever, even hours, they're freaking out because now the anxiety is coming. If you're just like, hey, I got your message, we're working on it. I have this meeting. People are like, oh, he's in a meeting, or he's putting his son to sleep.
Yeah.
But I know I'm freaking out. Hopefully I don't get very much of this or ever at all, but I have answered a call at like 3 a.m. when a person had an accident and they were freaking out, and there's a 24/7 claim number, but they felt like they needed to talk to me, and I answered it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I do take care of people, but hopefully that doesn't happen too often. But that same night I had another call at like 12:30, but I have weird sleep patterns.
So if someone, because what I created this podcast for is really to help people that are, well, first to provide a lot of information like you are today, but also to help people that maybe are in our positions or similar positions to us, and how they can be better as well, right? So if someone wants to get in your industry or is in your industry and they're either new or struggling, what are some things that can help them get more business if they're in the insurance industry themselves?
That's a great question. I think one is continuous learning, because there's always something to learn and grow, even the insurance industry, because there's so many different products and things you can get into, and clients are individuals, and you have to help them, whether they're a business or there's a family buying a home for the first time, or they're buying an investment property finally. Know them, but also know your product, and then just get the experience. Learn as much as you can. A lot of times when I'm driving, that's my classroom, so I'll listen to podcasts or a book on tape or anything I can to learn and grow. I don't usually listen to music too much, but that's a nice thing to do. It's good to sharpen the saw and unwind and help and grow. But also, I have other people in my industry that have been in it for decades longer than me, and I'll ask them stuff. And have a mentor, have people you can turn to. What resources can you go to? Now, even with businesses, they'll ask me, hey, do I have this or that coverage? And sometimes I'll say, that's a good question. Let me find out the answer for you. It's okay not to know everything.
Right.
And you share stuff, but you're like...
We tell our team the exact same thing here. If you don't know it, it's better just to say that. I don't know it, but I will find out the answer. Instead of saying something that's incorrect.
And it's great, because then they're like, okay, I know he's know these things because this is wild, and I've dealt with plenty of things where, hey, that's a unique question and situation. We'll figure it out, and they like that. And it's cool to find out those things, because now I have some of those people that I've gone to for answers. They'll ask me stuff because now I have a lot more experience, and I like details, and I like finding things out, and I like finding out things and asking questions and trying to find out, hey, never thought of that before. Let's find out what the scenario is, and talking with underwriters. I've talked with plenty of underwriters. A fun experience. I had a person from Bank of America call me. He was an underwriter, and he's like, he got my info from somebody else that helped to close, because I tried to find out solutions for interesting properties and other things, and he asked me some questions about stuff, and I was like, yeah, here's the answers, here's some of the resources, and they appreciated that. So that was kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows that we're all human. We don't all know everything.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes, a lot of times, it's just being honest and being straightforward with your clients. They're going to respect that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And lastly, what are some goals that you have for the rest of this year? And also, if someone wants to get a hold of you, where are the best places for them to reach you?
Yeah, no, perfect. So goals, just hired another licensed agent.
Nice.
Yeah, I have some very sharp people in my office. He has his master's degree from Chapman University, which is not a inexpensive university, very good one. But he's been in the industry for over a decade, but he was on the back end helping with insurance, with pet insurance and Cobra and some others. But now he's a licensed agent.
Awesome.
And he's rocking it and doing well. I have another agent who graduated summa cum laude from his university. He was already licensed. He was interviewing with different agencies, and he was grateful that he's in with mine. So I've been growing with agents and looking to grow my team and have some really solid people. And that takes time, and we've been developing and training. So I'm training them to get more experience. One of them was just commercial lines, but he does some personal as well, so we might as well use it. But yeah, really growing our agency. I'm looking to even grow more on the business insurance side with work comp and business owner policies. I write a lot of ice cream shops. The Michoacana is great. Some gas stations I've helped with. Just helped a client to build a gas station over in Vegas. So that was a lot of work. He's on the property for a while, but he was never able to get insurance to be able to build. And so now that's coming to completion. So I help him, which is part of why I just got licensed in Nevada.
Nice.
That way I can help him with stuff. But just growing the agency, training my licensed agents. That's one thing that I take joy in, where these people know what they're going to do. They know how to share, and just help with a lot of those skills and talk to people and how to communicate, and also listen and validate with people and just give those options.
When you have a great team, I mean, it's exciting because the right people on your team, you guys will all grow faster together, So, I'm excited for you, and hopefully we can keep doing this. Maybe down the road, we'll do another episode and see how things are going. And I appreciate you coming in, and thanks again for your time. Where can everybody get a hold of you if they have any insurance questions or just want to connect with you? Some places to find you at.
That's perfect. They can call or text. The office number is 714-831-2823, and it's 714-831-2823. You can Google me, Daniel Warren Insurance, Warren Insurance Agency. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Google. But got a lot of those things, and we answer texts. We help out, even if they're not my client. A lot of people will come and ask me questions, and then it's funny, like a year later, they're like, oh, I'm gonna call Daniel again. They're not my client, but they like the way I share information and help to consult people and share options, because I'm honest with people, and I will honestly be like, hey, it doesn't make sense to switch your auto insurance over or your home insurance. It's best for you to stay where you're at, but at least add this extra coverage because you don't have it. So people like that, and eventually years down the line, I've gained a lot of their
trust.
Their trust and their business later on, because I don't want to just when a client and then they move off in 6 months, but people like, I'll pay more for more.
Right.
There's cheap companies. I have some of those, and I share with that. But then there's how do we make it where we have where it's inexpensive, but you still have quality, because you still want to not just pay for something that's not going to cover you for enough.
Yeah, it ends up costing you more in the long run.
Yeah. So a lot of this company that people have, but I'll be like, hey, here's a little bit better coverage. Here's another company. This has this. And people are like, okay, let's go with that. I trust this. I want to get paid out just because I don't want to pay this and not have any coverage.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it is.
Okay.
We're happy to help.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks for coming in. I know you got a martial arts class to go teach, so I'm not going to hold you too much longer, but thanks again. And
Thank you.
let's do it again soon.
I
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of the Always Closing Podcast. And thanks to Daniel for the episode, and we'll see you on the next one.